Hi, I'm Rick Itzkowicz, and I'm the co-founder of Productive Learning and Leisure and creator of Quote Actions. In this segment of our LinkedIn Referral Success Program, I'll be covering the topic of Q&A. Specifically, I will go over the mechanics of how to ask and answer questions. I will address the strategic elements of asking and answering questions at a later segment. As with all of our topic programs, we begin on our LinkedIn homepage. However, LinkedIn has been changing the look and the navigation of the homepage. So there is a possibility that your homepage layout looks different than mine, and the navigation buttons will be down the left-hand column and at the top. In other words, if it looks like this, you may need to look either down the left-hand column or at the top. With the new navigation layout, it's all at the top. So we'll get started with how to ask questions. Click on the More tab, and there's a drop-down menu, and you have the Answers question. There is nothing for questions, so you have to click on Answers. And this is your Answers home, and you can either ask questions or answer them from here. So first we'll ask a question. So you would type the subject line for your question, right? And then click on Next. And then what you'll do is you'll have the subject line and then an opportunity to add details. Okay, add details to your question. This is just like a short sentence. Then here you'll add details to give the people who are going to be answering more context as to what you're looking for. You have an option of asking the question of your connections only or the entire LinkedIn universe. I recommend that you ask the entire LinkedIn universe. And then what you'll have to do is select a category. The thing about categories is that the categories are not always going to be exact to what you're looking for. For instance, mine has to do with an email question about a template for email. So I'm going to use technology and web development as the closest to email question. There is no category for email, so do the best within the categories that you are asking your questions. If your question is focused on a specific geographic location, click on that and put the zip code. It may be about a particular regional or local item that you're asking. And lastly, and very important, is whether your question is related to recruiting, promoting your services, or job seeking. If it is, be sure that you put a check mark by the appropriate ones, because failure to do so could really get you into trouble with LinkedIn. They could ban you from outright from using LinkedIn and or from asking questions. So if it is related to recruiting, promoting, or job seeking, be sure that you check that. All right, that's it for how to ask a question. So let's go to answer questions, and we'll go back to the answer home. And in here, what you do is you have questions from your network. You'll get a list of questions from your network. I'm just going to pick the first one to click on that. And then when you click on it, you have an opportunity to answer or suggest an expert. You can answer the question, provide an answer in some web resources. These are links to articles or your website if appropriate, as well as select experts from your network. If you click on select experts from your network, you can select, let's say I wanted to select this person as an expert. I can actually recommend them and they will show as an expert. You would do that to both help the person who's asking the question, but also you can help somebody in your network who is an expert to give them visibility and credibility. When you finish doing that, you click on submit, and that's how you answer questions. A few other things about answering questions is you want to look for the categories. So click on answer questions, and on the right hand column you have all the different categories that are available for you to be narrowing down the questions you would like to answer. Also, when you go to your homepage in answers, LinkedIn will automatically recommend some categories for you, especially if you have been answering questions throughout the time you've been on LinkedIn. So for me, I have 5 categories that are being recommended: professional networking, using LinkedIn, internet marketing, business development, and public relations. So focus on the categories that you feel most comfortable or have an expertise, or that there is a strategic element to it to help you answer the questions. I will share with you one more item when it comes to the questions and answering questions, and that is when you click on that, you have the opportunity to subscribe to questions on that particular category using an RSS feed. I will not explain what an RSS feed is, but if you are familiar with RSS feeds, you can actually subscribe to it with your reader and then automatically get the questions in that are of interest to you delivered to your RSS feed. A few other items, miscellaneous items having to do with questions and answers. First of all, when somebody answers your questions, be sure that you thank them. It not only shows good manners, it's also good karma, and it will give you an opportunity to possibly expand your network. So sometimes you'll get them in your inbox if people have been responding. These are questions that I have opened that people are responding to me. Or sometimes what you do is just go and view your questions that you have open, and you can respond right there. I have 2 open questions, so I can go in there, see the answers, and when you go into the answers from the people, I can just reply to them over here and type in a thank you for doing that. So that's important. And the last thing I will cover here is going to how to rate your questions. And what you want to do is once you finish and you close your questions, you can rate them. And you actually rate them by, let's see, where's your questions? Over here, and let's see if I have any questions. Oh, over here. This one I have a question that is closed. By the way, a question will close automatically after 7 days, or you can close the question manually once you've had enough answers and you don't want to receive any more. So what you'll do is you'll have an opportunity to rate the answers, and you'll select the good answers, and if any particular one stands out, that will be marked as best. So let's just say that you select 2 out of the 3 that are good answers, then click on rate, and then here you can either select the best answer, and then that person will get credit for having selected the best answer, or put no best answer. In that case, everybody you selected will get credit for a good answer, but not a best answer. So that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to address in this segment. If you have any questions, you can send them via LinkedIn or send me an email at rick@productivelearning.com. Enjoy an extraordinary day.